You are about to receive messages that may be harmful to your mental state. Your sense of reality will be questioned. Your view on things will be altered. You are now part of the meta. The meta controls everything. The meta determines what will and will not happen. You are watching the Meta Show.
Hi, we're live. Welcome to the Meta Show. Hi, everyone. Today we have a lot of special guests. K-Color, Thomas Lear, Reza's here, Mittens is not. We're live here at the Meta Show. We're also bringing you live coverage of EVE Vegas because one of the CCP things are going on stream. I don't know. There's supposed to be a structure presentation soon, but that hasn't started yet. So, hi, guys.
Hello.
Oh, you're saying hi to us?
Yes!
Hello.
Who the fuck do I think I'm saying hi to? By the way, hi, everyone. So, for those on the stream, we're a little late today because, as I'm about to show you on stream chat, I just probably killed, and I say probably because the motherfucker fell out of the sky, killed the biggest spider I'd ever seen on the face of this God-given planet. Okay, this motherfucker is huge. He's about the size of my fucking palm. I think I killed him. I dumped a bottle of Raid. I sprayed about half this can into his fucking ass. And it says very clearly, kill spiders, ants, flies, and any other thing. It says kills on contact. This motherfucker didn't fall down, okay, when I hit him that hard, okay? I dumped half the ball, and that motherfucker was still rolling. So, I'm a little concerned. Like, he was big. And he was black. So anyways, we're here. We're live on the Meta Show. Welcome to the Meta Show, everyone. This is going to be a great show today. We're going to discuss everything and anything that's going on in EVE Online. Reza here from Waffles, which recently joined Pandemic Legion. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, is here with us. And, of course, K-Color is our guest host today. He wanted to discuss some things going on in EVE Online. And then we also have a bunch of things to talk about. There's a whole lot of things. So, real quick, when I get to our resubscribers, we have Steel Horse for 4 months. Thank you very much. And a Nolan just subscribed for his 10th month. Reza from Waffles 420 Blaze It Sun. Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. Again, I'm excited. And so we're going to jump right into our top story. I mean, there isn't really much to talk about outside that because our top story is the most important thing of the day. What picture? The spider? Give me a second. I have to, like, die here, okay? I'm watching out the back. This motherfucker's gonna, like, jump on me.
You have to give chat, like, something they can watch out for in the background.
Okay, I'll do that in a minute. Like, you guys talk. So, introduce yourselves. Give a little bit of who you are, why you're here. That wonderful stuff. If you would mind sharing that. Go ahead, Mr. K-Color, you can start.
K-Color. I'm here because I wanted to rant about FuzzySov. Not FuzzySov specifically, but the people that are trying to say that they were against FuzzySov from the start.
Okay. Mr. Thomas Lear, hello.
Hi, I'm Thomas. I'm a member of the Terrifying League of Dogfort in Goons. I like the FC and I like to shoot things and shoot structures, so I'm very happy that structures are now 24/7 vulnerable come that patch.
Ooh.
So yeah.
Okay, and Mr. Reza, hello. It's nice to see you again. How's it going?
Hello, guys. I'm Reza. I'm bringing some like multicultural to this meta show. So there's not only goons here, but some good guys too.
Multicultural aspect of this.
Yeah, Africanized too. Anyway, everybody knows probably I'm the CEO of Snigwaf, who recently joined PL. So I guess that makes me one of the PL guys now.
I mean, aren't you still the CEO? I mean,
yeah, I'm still the CEO. I'm still the CEO.
Yeah, you're still the boss. So I mean,
it's just a corp now.
Yeah. So, Yeah, welcome, guys. So our top story today, we're going to jump right into it in just a few seconds as soon as I remember where I put my link. 1 second. There it is. So, yeah, we're here at eVegas. We're not at eVegas. I am not there. Matani is there, which is why we won't have the Matani here today. But we're going to jump right into it. We're going to talk about a whole lot of things. And the very first thing I want to talk about, and this is going to be kind of like a guided discussion. We're just going to rant. We're going to rave. We're going to discuss all this shit. First thing we got to bring up here is what Rise has done. And if you don't know what Rise has done, I put a link it there in Twitch chat. And that is Rise is changing clones. He's changing alpha clones, changing clone state of the game. He's making a big push to change everything that is going on with alpha clones. So CSP wants to have a better experience with alpha clones. In order to do so, they want to have alpha clones with more skills. They're going to add T2 small and medium weapons. They're going to add battle cruisers and battleships. It's not limited by faction, so you can use things like Macarials, Nightmares, so on. Alphas will stop training at 5 million skill points, just like normal. And then you will have to sub them for at least a month. If you sub them for at least a month, you can get up to 20 million skill points. So you add another 15 million. And then they want to have a shorter than 30-day training coming, which is very interesting. So for those of you, hold on, I need to make you like a mod or something.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know how to do that. But yeah, so first things right away, this is huge. Like, this is absolutely fucking huge to come out of FanFest here, and that is Battleship Flying Alpha Clones. I want each of your opinions. We'll start with Mr. Reza. You're the resident member from the other side of the aisle. What do you think of this?
I think it's a good idea. Definitely, it's gonna bring some more in-depth gameplay for Alpha clones, and we could use like more people to shoot and like to populate areas that are not populated right now. So I think that currently CCP is really kind of going in the soft way of like into the whole free-to-play scenario that they have in their minds, and they're like playing it really slow so everybody doesn't panic again, like when alphas when they're introduced in the first place. But I think like bringing alphas or giving them more abilities to play the game with different ships and more ships, and like including faction battleships, if I understood this correctly, it's a good way to go. It should be fun.
Good way. Ooh, Thomas Lear, what do you have to say about this?
I'm kind of on board with Rosa there. I think it is going to breathe some life into the game, possibly, which is well needed. I do think they need to watch it pretty closely because there's definitely some use and abuse aspect there. But I think it's going to definitely help, especially if people don't want to come back for a month. If they want to just come back for a short period of time and they just have an alpha, I think it'll be something that they can do and it'll be healthy.
Okay.
Just let me add some. Like when we tried with Pancakes, who was like an alpha-friendly organization, like a newbie-friendly organization. Like all these Pancakes, when they joined after, what was it, like 2 months, you hit the 5 million skill points barrier, right? Something like that. Like all those guys were like, oh, I just fucking hit a wall. Like I'm in my Thorax. What else? What else is there? I see all these guys in big ships. I cannot get there. And I think like for EVE, when the learning curve is like the whole procedure in order to like advance in the game, it's really slow. You giving them the ability to try more stuff might actually make them go to Omega state and make them like a longer team players.
That is a good point. Yeah, see, I'm on the fence, right? So when you look at this, for them to have the ability to fly battleships, that's my concern, right? Because all right, like look at this from a I want to be a spy perspective, okay? I'm not obviously not a newbie. I'm the big red, but I've been playing this game for a very long time. But now I can create this character who's alpha only, who's going to have a clean background, who's going to get into Pandemic Horde, who's going to get into Karma Fleet, you know, get into these places that accept literally everyone that walks. And I'm going to get in there. And now I can go on their most sacred of ops. I can go on their battleship fleets. They're big, giant battleship fleets. I can go on them now. So no longer am I relegated to going on these little tiny, you know, hole-in-the-wall fleets. I can now go on the biggest of fleets, and I can also take a chunk out of that fleet. Because what do? I fit mods that are designed to make their life miserable hell. You know, I do all these things that can ruin a battleship fleet pretty fucking quickly. And I think that's an aspect CCP is just not looking at, or maybe they are. Maybe that's what they want, right? Maybe they want shit to go to hell in a handbasket. Fuck.
I don't think they're looking at it that way. Like CCP usually, hey, we're gonna introduce these things, and they leave it to us for like half a year, and then review it and see, oh, we fucked up, or oh no, it's going as we planned. It was gonna go. But like the spy scenario, it's not really something I would be afraid of, because like getting into Horde and climbing up the whole ladder, it's like not really hard. Same applies to like, I don't know, Karma Fleet and all the other alliances. Like these are corps really easy to get into, and being able to fly a carrier, it's not gonna make a difference. But at the same time, I like imagine a carrier blob of like alpha clones. That might be interesting though.
Well, someone pointed this out to me last night, and I want to get Kid Color's perspective, is the insurgency that is alpha clones, i.e. put it somewhere, you don't have to keep it subbed. So to use it, it's just a matter of logging it in, right? As long as you're not logging in any of your Omegas, you log in that that alpha clone, you get into that alpha clone, and boom, shit's real. And imagine like staging 20 of these guys with Taloses, say in the middle of someone's house, and they have this Sotio that they're using to farm in, and now you can reinforce that Sotio 24/7, and you wait till they're balls deep in the middle of this gigantic 10% tie-dye fight that's consuming a lot of their alliance strategic assets, their FCs, their gunners and everything. You log in these 20 Taloses, and boom, now you're hitting their Citadels. Or boom, you're hitting their miners that have been logged off for a week. You know, they don't know who these characters are. They don't know how to track them anymore because they've taken away the ability to actively track pilots. So now you have no fucking clue that these 10 guys have been waiting. You know, like, what does that do to the game? Because it's not like you have to sub them to then play them, so you don't have to log them in, sub them, and then go. You literally just log in the alpha, and now they're in a Telos, or now they're in a Typhoon, and they're ganking your mining fleet that you didn't expect to be there. You know? What do you all think about that?
I think there is some concern that you could basically have Foreign Legion where it's all alpha clones. And, you know, an entity like PL would probably be the ones doing it, where you just have your entire alliance make an alpha account, stick it in a material, and then deploy it to like NPC Delve or NPC Fountain. And you could literally just log on these entire alpha fleets, like literal alpha fleets.
Yeah, I mean,
and go from there.
You could do it even a step further. That's a good point. I mean, Reza, you're a guy that does low-sec stuff. Could you imagine a guy living in low-sec who's got a character for each little like region of low-sec where the fight will go on, already in a ship, already ready to go, and it's like, okay, there's a huge fight going on in X region in X solar system. Everybody log in your character for that solar system. Now you've got an entire fleet up and going, ready to go whore on a fight.
Well, Losec is kind of dead, and there's nothing going on there. But
yeah, we'll get to that. That's a good point.
But like, without disclosing too much stuff, like I can imagine like an alliance called like Retired Legion, with people who are like literally AFK and just wait for pings like Rorquals tackled and dock your Taloses. You know what I mean?
We had to talk about this yesterday during my show. A guy named by the name of Janelle, who does with Goon Black Ops, said, could you imagine being able to have 4, 5, 6 of these alphas stage in different places? Your mains still do the main fleet, your mains still do your Titan, your Super, and they still make money. And then, okay guys, we've got this dude tackled, everyone log in, and now you bridge them, and then shit's real. Like, I can just see how
there's a fight going down in Curse or something like that. Instead of having to gate all the way over there, instead of having to bridge, you just everyone switches to their alpha account that they've already pre-staged there. If something's going on in Venal, you just switch to your alpha account that's already pre-staged there.
Yeah, I mean, if we remember back before Jump Fatigue, what did we all used to do when there was a fight somewhere? We'd all just log in, a Sino chain in, daisy chain our way up to wherever the fight was. So
now one thing they did not say, okay, they made a point of this, and I want to make this a very, very important point here. They were very clear about this. You will be able to use battleships and below. You'll be able to use T2 medium and light guns, so that things like faction cruisers with T2 Scorch, for example, the Ashermu, can be a thing. Expensive, might I add, but a thing. But ANIs are now a possibility. But this is the caveat here. They can't fit T2 tank. You have to go faction or dead space. You can use faction dead space mods. You cannot fit T2, so you can't do T2 invulns. You can't do T2 enams, T2 plates. T2 large shield extender, stuff like that. So it has to be factions. So it can get a little expensive if you're trying to do a serious brawly fleet that expects to get shot at. But someone pointed out, the question is, are they going to allow Cynos? Covert Cynos, either of those two, or cloaking. If they allow any of those three, then these new alpha clones are going to be goddamn amazing. Because imagine a Typhoon with a Cyno fit. He's carrying a mobile Cyno inhibitor. He drops the inhibitor, goes in, bumps this guy off a Citadel, and then lights a Cyno, right? The inhibitor goes up, the Cyno goes up, the guy that gets tackled dies, stuff like that.
If they added any of that stuff into alpha clones, I think you would just skew them way too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
I think Cynos and cloaks on alpha clones would just basically almost kill null-sec threading.
Right.
Every system would just have an alpha clone with a Cyno and a cloak.
Well, I mean
allowing Cynos like on alpha clones, it's gonna have so many accounts not being paid for. I don't think CCP is gonna do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd just unsub all my Cynowalds for sure.
Exactly.
Oh God, I gotta log them in one at a time on a different computer.
AFK cloaky campers, that's a big deal. But here's the thing, though. And the reason I worry about this is even if they can't fit Cynos, they could still, you can still fit out a battleship that's got a lot of mid slots. Let's say a Rock or a Raven. A lot of mid slots, put a lot of scrams on it, and now you just tackled, this carrier that can't warp away, or a Oracle, you've got it pinned down, and then the Cyno character comes in. It creates a lot of interesting gameplay, and you have to remind everyone that it is important to know that when you use an alpha character, you cannot use an omega unless you circumnavigate the system. If you do that, you will get banned. CCP has warned numerous times about this. Yeah, so we'll get to that here in just a second. And I got a friendly neighborhood image link for you guys. Hopefully this image works. I don't know if it will. There is the spider. I put a lizard on there for scale. That's a stuffed animal lizard that's about 2 feet long. So that can give you an idea of how big this motherfucker was. And he was solid black. I've never seen a spider this big. Ever. Like, holy fuck.
Yeah, and we were late for the show because Boat was afraid to fucking kill the spider.
And these guys could hear me screaming.
To jump around his fucking room and trying to kill him.
Hey, you could hear me screaming. It was so bad. I'm glad they weren't recording because that would have been awful. So there's the alpha situation, and I could see it. I could see a situation where this is gonna spiral out of control. Maybe CCP likes this idea. I mean, imagine 20 of these on a fleet and how wrecked that fleet can be. One thing I pointed out is like broadcasting for reps. As soon as you get everyone to lock you, hit one of those like spectrum breakers, break all the locks of all your logi. I'd have shot that fucker with a gun. That was a Black Widow. No, it wasn't. Black Widows aren't that big. And they have a little bit of red in the back. That thing was solid black, completely black. And like I said, I sprayed him with a can of Carolina Wolf Spider. That's what I'm being told. It's very not deadly. Like, it can't kill you. It can bite you, but it very rarely does. They're saying California Wolf Spider. But it was solid black. There was no... Like, this thing was pitch black.
This is a spider show now.
Oh my god. That's kind of... that might be what it was. Holy shit. That could be what it was right there. Holy fuck. That thing is huge. What do you have against black spiders? I have the fact that motherfucker was on my bed. Mother.
You think it was alone?
It was the largest spider in North America. Oh, it was alone, alright. Alright, anyways, back to the seriousness. Motherfucker, don't say what's that on your shoulder. I'll look. So that's alphas, right? That's just the first thing that CCP announced right here. This is the big, serious kaboom. Okay? That's big, but... I say but... This next thing we're going to talk about is even bigger. And that is Citadel changes are coming. And
Thank God.
I'll get to you all on this in just a second. But this motherfucker is huge. The changes that have been announced are very, very big. One thing, rule number 1, if they're not fueled, the modules go offline. The modules then go offline. You can't gun it if it's not fueled. And like the guns, like you can't really defend itself. The CCP is very vague about this. Will it defend itself? Will it not? But from right now, they will not defend themselves. We're supposed to be watching that CCP thing live, but the stream is still down. So we're waiting on that to come back line. Oh, there it is right there.
Well, I thought the biggest change that they announced was the EVE mobile game. All these other changes were kind of useless compared to that.
Yeah. But so we're looking at the Citadels. If they are not fueled, they skip armor timers, so you go straight from shield to final. So there's only 2 timers, I believe. So you have a shield timer and then a final timer. No armor timer if they're not fueled. They're adding burst projection, so the things that super carriers currently have, and deleting void bombs. So void bombs are going away. Very sad. I'm very sad to see void bombs going. They're adding new fighters to the game, specifically designed to make these Citadels stronger. I don't know if that means new fighters or they're adding more fighters to the Citadel, one of the two things. The burst newt, the burst bubble, like all of those bursts are going to be in the game now. But you can dodge those, right, if you take your time. Another big thing that they haven't announced is, we're going to discuss why I think this is bad, is that while it's a 24-hour window until it's reinforced, they didn't say if that's going to create a 24-hour point. Right now, the only time you can point someone with a scram on the Citadel or a point is if it is vulnerable. So they haven't said if that's going to continue on through the game or not. And then another thing, too, they're doing is they're adding the GTFO module, or the new Doomsday that projects people away, launches them as far away as possible. They're adding that to Keep Stars. So you're sieging a Keep Star, and they fire that DD, and it hits an area and teleports everyone away. And I think that has to be the most broken thing in the EVE right now. During tie-dye, we saw this on test during some fights near the M-O area and in Hakonen. And when they got GTFO'd by Killabee's Titan, it would then send all of them individually, one by one, one at a time, away. So it takes 200 seconds to teleport 200 people, 1 second at a time. So I thought that was interesting. What do you guys think? I mean, this is huge. Like, this is game-changing here.
I'm personally super excited. I think it's going to... Yeah, because, like, you know, I like to go out and PvP and, like, do stuff with other groups. And really the big limiting factor is whenever someone deploys to your space right now, it's like, okay, guys, what time zone are they weakest in? What are we strongest in?
Right.
And then they just basically time it to AU time zone, and nobody really has any fun. So if you set it to where there's a 24-hour vulnerability, you can at least create a timer for it, where they have to at least be paying attention and say, hey, look, there might be a form up for this. So I think it's going to be somewhat positive.
Okay, what do you...
Maybe not perfect.
When you say that's a good thing to avoid the Australian time zone, they did make a point of this to say after that first timer, it does go to the timer they're choosing. So won't it still be time zone warfare? Are you saying it just has less timers?
You'll just see them do it on weekends.
Yeah, if you only have to do that alarm clock once, it's a lot better than having to do it 3 fucking times.
Yeah, or even twice. But at the same time, it's like, right now, if you just time your stuff to AU time zone, you don't need to worry about them forming a fleet, because if they're not an AU time zone alliance,
they're not
they
going
won't
to
form
begin
an
with.
AU time zone fleet. Right.
Right.
So if there's a 24-hour timer now, it's like, okay, we might actually have to form for this regardless, because they might put a fleet on the grid.
I see. That's an interesting way to look at it. I think this is good for the game. But we have a new guest who just popped into the channel. Billy, hello, Mr. Billy. I want to hear your opinion.
Hello, Mr. Boat.
I want to hear your opinion about what they said yesterday about these new Citadel changes. Fozzie looked like he was grinning ear from ear. What do you think about that?
They're good. It's a pretty effective way to at least reduce some of the unpleasantness that's currently involved in Citadel reinforcement mechanics.
They did also point out, and we'll get to Kid Color about this one, because I think you do have to deal with some logistics in this game. When they did make the announcement of if you don't fuel them, they'll go offline, they did say anyone could fuel them. You think that's a good thing? To no longer limit your Citadels to being like fueled by one guy, like that one guy you trust, otherwise he's going to like wreck all your space. Do you think it's better that it's anyone that can do it?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
Is that going to be anyone that can put it in, or anyone that can put in or take out?
I think it's anyone could put in, but you have to have a specific role to pull it out.
right now it's pretty fucked up because like only you need to have some sort of roles and be in the same corp and all what else. Like it's even worse than boss mechanics.
Right.
But like the Citadel changes to like the vulnerability and shit. It's like the same. I'm gonna be like very with a clear picture here. Like you get rid of the fucking foreplay and you can go directly to having, you know what? So you can go directly to the fight. Because like right now, what's happening? Like there are a lot of FCs who just avoid even reinforcing these structures because they're a pain in the ass to do that. And on the other hand, you have FC who go reinforce them, and usually the armor timer is just skipped. Like usually the defenders don't even bother with the armor timer, and then just everybody just like massively forms for the final timer. So I think
Nano Q, that's how it is. It's gonna go straight armor.
Yeah, I mean that's a good idea, especially for those who are not going to be fueled. Get rid of one of the timers and just go straight to the grand finale.
Well, I'm wondering if it's going to be abusable, if you're able to fuel it while it's being shot, and kind of just like you just keep the fuel there, don't have it fueled, starts getting shot, you log it in, you put fuel in so that it actually goes to the first timer.
Right.
Something like that, I can see kind of being abusable, kind of the way that they used to do it with posses.
Highly unlikely.
You're saying kiting it?
No, where you would leave it unfueled with some fuel blocks in it, ready to go. And when it starts getting shot and they go to reinforce it, then you put them in.
Okay, you can't do that. So let me explain the cool Citadel mechanic that prevents that. And here's what's great about that. Is that the second it starts to enter a repair cycle, so it starts to get shot, right? As soon as it enters its repair cycle, getting shot, you can't adjust anything. You can't refuel it. You can't add fuel, lower fuel. You can't add new mods, lower mods. You can't adjust anything. Whatever ammo it has in the ammo bay is in the ammo bay. So that's one of the ways that they prevent that from happening. So yeah, you won't be able to do that.
Could you infinitely stop someone from being able to fuel the POS or fuel the Citadel if you just kept shooting it?
Yeah, but that's not a thing, because here's the thing. So what happens is you have to infinitely shoot it, but say they stop you from shooting it, right? Like in the case of a Fortizar, it takes 6-7 ships to hit that thing. If it repairs for even a few minutes, that few minutes adds up. It doesn't reset the repair cycle. So like say you start shooting it again, it doesn't go back to 15 minutes. It keeps repairing 13, 12, 11. I mean, you can get down to a minute and get it near reinforcement, and all of a sudden it's fixed and then it's over. And so that's the thing that happens with that, is that while it looks like a good idea, but you can't prevent it from repairing. And once it repairs, then you could just refuel it. But that'll be interesting to see. Are they going to change that? Because again, if it's constantly invulnerable, or constantly vulnerable now, right? Let's think about this, Thomas, and I'm going to ask you this. If it's constantly vulnerable, what's to stop you from doing what Kid Color said? Keep them from changing the fit by constantly plinking it for 6-7 hours, and then just reinforcing it when you feel like it.
Yeah, it is definitely a concern, but hopefully you would be able to take the grid or hold the grid or form some kind of fleet, I think would be the counterplay there, or just sacrifice the structure.
All right, so look at this for an example. That 15-minute repair, what if you just hit it every 15 minutes? I mean, it sounds boring, but you're going to have to make these people be online, if it's in the case of a Fortizar, a very important structure, for hours.
Yeah.
Right? Otherwise, you're just going to come with what you want.
Right, but you have to do the same thing with bosses. If someone wanted to kite the boss out, you'd have to be online for a while and make sure that the Straunt's right and keep adjusting it or whatnot. I mean, Eve has become a safe game, and I don't like it.
Yeah,
I enjoy that we're actually getting debate.
Here's the next question. I have this for Billy and even Reza, even K-Color. Is bosses now can defend themselves. If someone shows up on grid and you're not available, you're not around, you're sleeping, Yeah, they're available to be hit 24/7, but if you're asleep, they'll at least shoot back randomly. It's not like the AI is very random. It's the first person to land on grid. It shoots that for a second, then it switches targets. Should Citadels have that feature, where enemy shows up on grid, he's by himself, he's shooting you or your Citadel, and it can fight back, even if it's not perfect.
It doesn't really matter, I think, honestly, just because the way it works is that Citadels, if they're fit properly, are fit for in an anti-capital manner,
Right.
and Citadels, when fit for sub-capital, basically do nothing. So posses, can deter, small 20-man less gangs that are in, cruiser and smaller doctrines from, shooting at them with those guns. But, that's all they can really do.
Right.
Anything bigger than that, posses just can't pressure enough to matter.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. Is like, should they have that though? Should they have that POS style feature? If they're going to be vulnerable 24/7, they should they be able to defend themselves? And
it would be nice, but with the way that it's set up right now, there's no possible way for that to work. So it's not in the cards.
Because I was thinking.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Reza.
I mean, there's like POSes had like E-War guns, and that's basically it, right? And while on the Citadel levels of like modules, like for defenders, it's there's a really lot of modules. So the AI would have to be really, I don't know how to say it, but
very competent.
Definitely not the POS AI copied on the Citadel
what
mechanics.
What about the new AI
reality
that does the Blood Raider Citadels?
I'll just say the reality is the old POSes the old standard eye set for large POSes was like 60 new war, like 8 tackle, and like about 5,000 DPS. You don't even get a tenth of that with your standard Astra House, right? Like it's just not even close. So worrying if that's going to shoot is not really relevant.
Someone just messaged me right now and says an Astra House can be reinforced by 2 Alpha Algoses. The current EC, any of the medium structures, so the Astra House and the Rotaru, both those can be reinforced by 2 Alpha Algoses. That's how little their tank is as far as like the repair cycle. So that's interesting. We talk about alphas being able to use battleships. That sounds like just a single Alpha Talos could log in while someone's busy and hit their shit and gimmicks. So
it's totally different than like people going in like AFK oracles and reinforcing structures over the night and I don't know what else. So
they wait till you're asleep. So okay, and that's the Citadel changes. So that's what's coming. They did talk about the burst projectors, the getting rid of void bombs, and then adding this new fighter. Do you guys think it'll be new fighters or just more of the same fighters? Because they talked about making like this new fighter that can fight back and make the Citadels actually able to defend themselves a little better. What do we think is going to happen with that? You think it'll be the same fighter or a new one?
Probably new, like, how there's like the stand-up warp scrambler these days for structures. It'll be like stand-up, light fighter or stand-up heavy bomber or whatever.
Right.
I mean, deleting void bombs, that's just huge, though.
You think that's huge? Because I
think that
they've added void bombs again, haven't they? By adding the burst projectors, like the fact that they can do like the super carrier burst projection. Those things have like a nuke burst projector, don't they? That's really strong.
So I'm saying in my super carrier, it's a 400-second activation time, and assuming that they're going to, go over onto Citadels, so say it's 400 seconds between firings versus what is it on a void bomb? 10 seconds. Yeah,
right.
So it's you'll still have nuke pressure, but it's not going to be as stupid as it is now.
And those things the aiming is very different as well.
Yeah, and it's really hard. Also, like the void bombs, like made all attacking forces being pretty much stuck into a really few doctrines in order to fight on a heavy pressure grid. So, yeah, this might add some versatility and like different options for attackers to fight on a Citadel grid.
Well, the core problem was that the void bomb was not like SIG based. It was just here's 5,000 capacitor gone instantly. It's like, What the fuck? Who thought this was a
Okay.
balanced mechanic?
Real quick, for those watching, in the background here, we do have the official CCP thing called Resource Wars going live right now. They're showing what it'll look like. You know, people mining and having to deal with rats and so on and so forth. So that's what's going on in the background. So that's what you're hearing at the moment. As we move away from Citadels, we're going to move on to something that I think is about as bad as the game can get, and maybe this will be good. I mean, some people had some good points yesterday, and that is the change with this new Citadel and moon mining change coming with the Bloodline is moon mining and high-sec and wormholes. As K-Killer put it yesterday, as if wormholes didn't already have enough money generation, now they have this, and then of course high-sec getting moons. Where do you think CCP's mind is going with this shit?
This is arguably the most retarded decision they've made ever when it comes to
Actually, yeah.
I love it!
I have a question, because I heard somewhere, I don't remember where, but they said that it was only going to be minerals, like Mex, Trit, Noxium, stuff like that, in the wormhole and high-sec. But you had to go to low-sec or null for goo.
I don't know.
Is anyone
someone brought this up yesterday. They said it was probably going to be evaporate gases and high-sec. And then the moon mining and the wormholes will be similar to 0-0 because it's considered dangerous space, but no one's confirmed because CCP hasn't confirmed that. I mean, if there's someone in chat that can confirm this, it'd be nice. I tried to get Arathon here to confirm that, but he wouldn't tell me.
Yeah, it says so. A couple people in chat said that it's high-sec moon mining was
ore.
minerals only. So,
but I still think
that's still broken. But
yeah, I mean, if they're only ore, it's still adding a shitload more ore. Like, who needs to go mine in 0-0 when you can mine Mexilon and high-sec, right? Like, where's the danger in there?
I will say this: if you have looked at the moon mining, like the new spreadsheet that came out for that, they have actually reduced the Mexilon bottleneck, which is kind of nice because like all of the moon minerals now have Mexilon that you get from reprocessing.
Mimic said that everything that's on CC regarding what you get from moons is wrong.
Oh, is it? Shit.
Yeah. That's very wrong. They fucked that up.
I think the whole thing around the Mungu changes, it's fucking retarded as it possibly can be.
Ooh.
The only thing I like here is that it's gonna be like removing the passive way of getting money from R64s or whatever and making it active. And there's one more thing that I've been repeating for the last year, like low sec, it's like losing again versus wormholes again, and like fuck this game.
Yeah. So the only thing I like about this is it really is killing low sec. Like Fozzie, the day he went to a CCP, has spent from the moment he got there till now trying to improve the lives of low sec and small gang PvP, like little 10-man on 10-man fights. He's tried so hard with the introduction. With the push for faction warfare to be better, to push for content to come to low-sec via a whole lot of different reasons. But it seems like this big push and the change to moon mining and then a couple other things have happened recently, they're just killing low-sec. Like, the game is just, like, you're not going to go to low-sec for anything other than 1v1 blobs. And I say 1v1 blobs because it sounds kind of moronic, but it really is. It's like you fight 1v1, and then like the other guy brings 10 guys, and then you bring 5 guys, and that's all low-sec's ever going to be anymore. Like I haven't been to low-sec for a serious brawl in almost a year now. Like I just don't see the point anymore. It used to be you could go there for some content, but
low-sec's just where you stage from to go into low-sec.
Yep. Right.
Yeah, but even that you can do now with Fortizars and other Citadels. You don't need low-sec NPC stations anymore.
Yeah, low-sec is having travels fit supers. It seems like low-sec is just becoming a transit place. Like, you have the occasional, like, group who designed, like, they live there just to kill supers and stuff, but even that job is very few. Like, you see 1 or 2 every couple of days. Like, you don't, it's not like a constant stream of activity.
Yeah, you just see those retards who don't know how to use Citadels and get like removed from the ACL, where they're lighting a sign on, like whatever those low-sec groups are already called. Yeah. Low Cheyenne something,
Locust
whatever.
Last, the PL group, yeah.
Yeah, like those 2 groups, like who are hunting. Like this is the only content that you get from like trying to catch supers, but whatever.
Right. Hippo just reminded me about the fact that the Revenant BPC only drops in low-sec.
Right, you can't get that in 0-0, can you?
Oh.
Yeah, but I mean, then again, I haven't seen goons try to do that incursion. I mean, Villia, what do you think about test? Like, do you guys see yourselves doing incursions anytime soon?
No.
Also, I did like the fact that they're taking all of the new content they just put in 0-0, and we're gonna talk about that now. And that is the new Garistas Titanfax and Dreadnought are going to be spawning out of a Blood Raider style Garista spawner. They're also talking about the Angel spawner coming soon. They showed a little preview of that earlier to what the Angel one will look like. The Angel Titanfax and Dread. They will have a vertical Dread, which is pretty cool. But what they did skip over, I mean, they talked about it very, very briefly, was the forward staging bases. So basically they're taking all of this great content of the game that is to 0-0. The first time they've added something big to 0-0, and they're moving it to low sec and high sec. Why the fuck are they going to put these forward stagings out? I don't think that's a good idea. But maybe you guys might disagree with me on this. Do you think it's better to move them around space instead of having it confined by region?
I'd like for them to make all the regions equal in terms of what they can spawn. But the fact that you can have Garistas Titans and things like that spawning at a sites, but Blood Raiders still doesn't even have that.
Oh, you're talking about like the faction battle, like the faction Titan in every region should appear.
Yeah, it's like that should have been the first thing that happened. I don't like they shouldn't have put it into single region.
Oh,
Unless they're expecting that to have been what drove conflict was the fact that you could get like Titan spawns.
I think it's similar to how they've always done everything. They have this dream of an idea, and Villy might be able to test this for as long as you've played. They have this dream of an idea of what they want to do with something. For example, the butt plug that is this giant turd of a super carrier. They had this dream of making like a faction one for each of them, and then they make the first one, and they make the incursion, and then they stop, and they just don't do anything else with it ever again, and they just leave it the way it is. And now it's just a money maker in high sec, and occasionally you'll see BPCs for those things. Do you think that's where they went with these Titans in sites? Like where a Blood Titan will show up, or a, in the case of Sanchez Titan. Like, is it like they wanted more out of it, and then all of a sudden, fuck it, we're done?
That was addressed to Villy specifically, Viley.
Well, anyone could talk.
I guess so. I mean, they have ADD or something. They don't, complete the stuff they start, and it becomes brutally obvious.
So you mean like they add a new thing, they get bored with new thing, they move to the next new thing, they don't ever finish the new thing they made the first place, so it only goes to like a certain region.
Well, I mean, incursions were fucking 2010. Are they finished? No. Faction Warfare was like, what, 2011? Or probably earlier than that. Is that finished? No.
Yeah, no.
Like, come on now. Like,
do you...
they released the fucking, like, Delve pirate shit, like, and you couldn't even fucking loot the shit unless everybody else in the game was fucking ignoring you. Like,
here we go.
I don't even...
This gets even better. According to a friend of mine, he says Titans show up everywhere, but the NPC home region they spawn in for some CCP region, aka Cursed Delve, Fountain, Venal, and whatever the other one is, I think is Stain. They don't show up in those regions. So, for example, the Blood Titan only shows up in Aquarius. So, what do you think of that?
Period basis, but yeah.
Do you think that's pretty stupid?
Yes.
I don't know. I'm worried because Billy, I want your opinion, and I'm gonna get K colors on this also because you guys are very old in this game. Thomas, you're relatively new, and I don't know how long Rezo you've been playing. I think you've been playing a while, but
Since 2004.
Okay, so you've been playing as long as I have, well, longer than me. Do you trust CCP not to fuck up this moon scramble, they call it? Is it, like, I have this feeling, and of course I was told that I'm being a little preemptively crazy with this, but I was told that this scramble is going to be a true scramble. I don't see it happening that way. What do you guys think?
I think no matter where it ends up, someone's going to scream fucking CSM corruption or something like that. If PL ends up with the Great Moons, goons will be screaming about how...
I don't think it matters, honestly.
CCPL. If goons end up with all the moons, people will be screaming about how it's, goon CCP thing.
Okay. Mr. Billy? Billy, hello?
I think a spider got him.
Fuck. Well, what do you think, Reza? I mean...
I think CCP is gonna screw this like as much as they can because this is the only thing they're good at, like fucking things up, right? And then it takes them half a year to realize, oh guys, we fucked up, we're sorry.
Half a year?
And then it takes them, another half a year to realize, maybe we need to change this. Like, look at the Citadel expansion. And this is how they work. This is how CCP always worked. And what happened is that people go on Reddit, people whine, and then there's a group of people going, hey, no, we are the problem, and there no CSM are the problem, and no CCP, and the developers are the problem. And it's a whole fucking life cycle, and every time it goes the same fucking way. And then the game is dead, the numbers are going down, blah, 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 the same usual shit. Anyway, I think the moon redistribution, it's not really gonna matter that much because it's gonna be like active. You're gonna have to actively mine it, right? So maybe somehow, I don't know, I didn't do the math. It's gonna be more into like, hey, if your players are active, it wouldn't really matter if you're in the south or the north. You're still gonna be able to mine the same amount of Mung or something. I don't know. I'm just talking from my head because that would actually make sense to me. But if they're going to redistribute it in any other way that is going to imbalance the north versus south, like how the balance is set it right now, then some people are going to cry about it. So that's it.
Mr. Thomas Slayer, I mean, do you think it'll be balanced? Do you think it'll favor everyone as equal as possible? Or do you think it really is going to pick and choose?
I mean, I think K-Killer hit it right on the head. You know, it's either going to be, PL guys bitching that, goons or tests or whoever got it, and then vice versa. And it's one of those things that it's great that we're doing it because it needs to be done, but at the same time, it's like, this is just going to stir the cesspool of drama.
Okay. See, where I see this, and some may not agree with me, some may agree with me, I don't know. I just have a feeling that this is CCP's first opportunity. I mean, if you look at the way that how quickly they adjust oracles, I mean, it's cool that they adjust oracles that quickly, but they didn't really fix it. But I see this as an opportunity for CCP to really adjust moon distribution according to TrueSec. And this guy points it out right here. He took the words out of my mouth. I do see this as a chance for CCP to go, okay, we're going to organize this where high sec, you get the shit. Low sec gets a little bit of niceness to it. 0-0 near low sec, you're going to get something, but it's not going to be the best. And the further and further and further and further you get away from, say, a central point in the game, by light year maybe, the better the moons will get. So, like, if you're out in, like, these deep end corners of Stain or Paragon Soul or even Tenal or Cobalt Edge, places that are really, really hard to logistically get to and get out of, they're going to have these great moons. Okay? But then at the same time, I don't know if CCP is going to be able to pull that off. Now, according to the CSM, CCP does know what they're doing, and this is going to be good. Just give it time, but I don't know. I don't know if I believe that.
There's one... Go ahead, Keiko.
I was just going to say, it seems like if they want to like actually drive conflict, they want to stick those really valuable moons in systems that are accessible from low-sec or, are within range of low-sec. That way you can at least have some kind of conflict driving that way. If you stick them in the back systems in the middle of nowhere, no one's going to go there.
I see.
In addition to that, is if you do stick them in the back systems of the middle of nowhere, it's really hard to get in and out of the system, so you're going to affect the market greatly on just T2 production, and everybody uses T2 mods right now. They're kind of the bread and the butter of the game.
Right.
So if you fuck the moons too bad and people can't get the T2 or T2 mod materials out, then the whole game is really in trouble.
Yeah, what Thomas said. I don't think CCP looks at this as content or like conflict creators, right? They more think about it the whole industrial level, because a lot of stuff is based out of Mungu and the whole Tech 2 production of ships, modules, and basically everything. That if you screw these things like too badly, then like really the whole, I don't know, a lot of things can go wrong.
You think this will kill the game if they fuck this up, is what you're saying?
No. It's not gonna kill the game, but it's gonna make like a huge mess. Like, can you imagine all the fucking industrial guys already checking all their spreadsheets, going crazy about it?
Oh,
And
I know.
you know, like that whole part can like, I don't know, get fucked up really
To give
easily.
you an example, the game has been relatively mapped out. When you think about it in the way it is now, Dotland of all places has most of the moon goo. Okay. Now look at the way that this change is going to happen. 4,250 moons in Delve, 4,500 moons in Aquarius, 3,600 moons, I think, and around those areas. You're looking at almost 15,000 moons within the grasp of the CFC. How the fuck? You know how long that will take? Even the CFC, I mean the Imperium, just scouts to map that shit. Like, you're talking about maps I have of Delve that are 10 years old that show every moon mapped out. Like, how do you map all that post-patch, right? Like, how long is that going to take?
Are you gonna have to like probe the shit out of the moons again?
Right,
Or
I
gonna
mean,
do
like,
this?
I have like a... Oh, wrong button. I have an entire, like, bookmark / spreadsheet of moons that I'm going to have to go through and just wipe out, right? Like, about, like, 10 different spreadsheets that are just useless now, right? That's my thing. Now, Kate Keller, you did have a rant you wanted to get to. We got about 5 minutes left.
Nah, don't worry about it.
No, I got to hear it. I want to hear this rant. So I've been waiting all week for this.
I just wanted to tell the people that keep claiming they were against Fuzzy Sub that they can fuck off because they weren't.
Go ahead.
No, I mean that's pretty much the entire rant. Like, you want to go on Reddit and say that you were against Fuzzy Sub from the start, while you were the one sucking his dick, and the rest of us
While you were
having to-
attacking. And
Yeah,
now you have to
guys,
defend.
you guys were fine with Fuzzy Sub when, you know, you could take your little interceptor because, you know, remember, you still could put them on interceptors at the start,
Right.
and just go hack our Sov. And now suddenly you have the Sov, and you're like, well, Fuzzy Sov sucks. Like, you're the reason it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, Fozzie
made
thought
your
it
bed
was
go lay in
working.
it.
Fozzie, I mean, we call it Fozzie Solve for a region. The guy thought it was working for, like, the first 3 months because of guys like the North. I mean, now it's Fozzie Moons. That's a very good point. Someone made the joke of if he has control of the seed, that it's literally going from Fozzie Solve to Fozzie Moons. One joke someone made is that it's possible they're looking at adding Fozzie Solve to Citadels. I heard that from a friend at Vegas. So, like, adding the ability to hack a Citadel to, say, disable its guns or something. This is, of course, a rumor coming out of Vegas, so I don't know how true it is. But what do you think of that, Mr. Thomas Lear? Having the Fozzie Solve Citadels.
No.
No?
God, fuck no. Get rid of it, please.
I mean,
The
even
solving,
online where they can take a system that's terrible and make it worse.
Yeah.
So you're saying CCP in a nutshell?
Yeah, pretty much.
The whole module via Entosis link needs to go away. It just needs to be thrown in the trash and forgotten about as a failed part of EVE Online.
I don't know about that. I like Fozzie Solve, but that's my argument for another day. And real quick, final thing here before we go. Got 2 things. One, I want to take a moment to thank of all our subscribers. Finality 82, 3 months. Uzriel 99, 3 months. Sally Solomon for 6 months as Karma Fleet is recruiting. We had an anonymous donation of $4.20. Thank you very much. 3-month subscriber Aaron Thor saying subs for boat. High five. Thank you. Iceburn for 34 months. Jesus Christ, that's a long time. Thanks, man. That's 3 years almost. That's amazing, dude. And then Raylay just subscribed, brand new Twitch Prime subscriber. Thank you very much. And I don't know about you guys, but my last thought about this Vegas presentation. What the fuck? So we just learned that CCP has officially launched an app for your phone to play EVE Online. An EVE Online game on your phone. What the fuck? Like, are they out of their damn minds?
No, I think they're just looking for additional revenue streams. I think it's going to be a pretty major flop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did read this, and I'll get you each a comment before we go here because we're out of time. The app is kind of coming out soon. It's in alpha state. But reports are that there are 2 new games, Gunjack and the other one, when they hit Steam, had about an average of 100 concurrent players. For a brand new game that's been hyped up for a good amount of a year, to peak at 160 players and average about 100, that's a little concerning. Wouldn't you agree?
I mean, it was interesting with Dust where they tried to tie it into EVE Online.
Right.
Obviously, they didn't
plan that out
do it
well
very
enough.
well.
Right.
But I mean, having like an FPS or something like that can interact with EVE is probably going to be the thing they want to look at.
Right. Okay, so I want to just go ahead and tell everyone right now we are out of time. The boat meta show is come to an end. That's it. Like we're seriously out of time here. Coming up next is Gamal Knox and his wonderful show. I do believe he is coming up next. So the Gamal Knox show, Accessible Gamer, will be up next. Also, the Matani will be back next week. He was in Vegas right now. A lot of people in Vegas. It also looks like they're getting ready to do the structure talk with CCP Fozzie and the dev, I think, that Aerith wants to let bone in the ass. I'm not sure what his name is again. But yeah, so we'll be back next week. Diesel, thank you for 11 months, my friend. But we're out of time, so bye, guys. Thanks for coming. Thank you, our special guests, as always.
Ice cream.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
It's CCP Nargle.
You
That's the
are
name.
about to receive messages that may be harmful to your mental state. Your sense of reality will be questioned. Your view on things will be altered. You are now part of the meta. The meta controls everything. The meta determines what will and will not happen. You are watching the Meta Show.